Hi, it's Tristan back with another video, and in this video we are taking a look at and reviewing these headphones. These are the Meze 109 Pros, and if you saw my prior video on the 105 Air headphones, these are definitely a step up. So those 105 headphones were at a price point of $399. This is at a price point of $799, so right about $800. And I would say off the bat that if you can afford to spring for these are definitely the better headphone, not only in terms of looks and build quality and feel, but also in terms of sound. So let's first talk about the build quality. The main thing on these is instead of having plastic ear surrounds, these have actual real wood ear surrounds. And according to Meze, these are made from a sustainable wood. And then also just the headphones don't feel as plasticky. Like these parts here are more of I think a magnesium zinc. They don't feel as plasticky, and just an overall better build quality and a nicer look with the wood surrounds versus just plastic surrounds. In terms of overall comfort, they're about the same. They've got the same kind of a comfort with the comfort band here that automatically adjusts when you put it on. And the ear pads are very plush as well. And then also you get kind of a long cable with this. It's like about a 10-foot cable that's terminated in a 3.5 millimeter jack, but it also comes with the 1/4-inch phono adapter as well. And then also you get a nice case with this, just like the 105s. You get a nice sort of hard case with it as well. And also this case is great to store the headphones with as well. Keep them dust free and when you're not using them, and just protect them as well. So these headphones are a 40 ohm headphone, and they have a sensitivity of 112 dB. So that means that they're pretty easy to drive, and they should sound good out of pretty much anything. Although they do scale up, with headphone amplifiers. So if the sound does sound better, of course, with the headphone amplifier. So if you're using a headphone amplifier, you will get a better sound than if you're not. But if you're playing these directly out of something like a MacBook Pro, which I did try, the new MacBook Pros, the current MacBook Pros, have enough headphone amplifier power out of the headphone jack to sound, quite decent directly out of them. So that's a plus. And they have the 3.5 millimeter directly. So you don't need a separate DAC or anything if you're using, an Apple device. So you don't necessarily need a separate DAC if you have a modern Apple computer, that has the newer 3.5 millimeter headphone output jack. They actually did a pretty good job with that. Of course, like I said, with a nice high quality headphone amplifier, you will reap the benefits, and it will sound better. My current reference setup that I use mostly for testing headphones and my audiophile setup is the Chord Hugo TT2 with the Chord M scaler, and these really sound excellent out of that setup. So again, while these are quite easy to drive, you will find increased sound benefits, using a headphone amplifier. Like the 105s, these 109 Pros have a biocellulose driver with carbon fiber infused into them as well. So it's a relatively similar driver technology. It's just that these 109 headphones, being a higher end headphone, have more tuning to them and a better sound signature in them. And as you can see inside there, they've got a really nice pattern to the grill there inside. So in terms of the sound signature of these, in my Meze 105 review, I mentioned that it had a slightly veiled sound or thin sound to the mid-range and sort of upper mids with a slight V-shaped curve. These don't have that. These sound really nice throughout the frequency spectrum, and they don't appear to have any sort of frequency spectrum holes or weakness at all. So that's why I say if you can afford it, it's worth it to get these instead of the 105s if it's within your budget. Granted, these 109s are almost double the cost though, so that that is a consideration. But in terms of the overall sound signature on these, the bass is very involving with maybe a slight built-in bass boost. So you don't necessarily need to boost your bass if you're kind of a bass head. And just a really nice tonality throughout the mids and the highs. Highs are not too harsh or anything like that. Quite engaging and involving, and kind of reference sounding without being harsh. And then the mids are quite smooth, with vocals sounding quite smooth, both with female vocals and male vocals. A nice smooth and rich tonality to the mids for sure. And then the sound signature, I would say in terms of the depth and width of the sound signature, it's about equal to the 105s in the sound signature in that respect. So they're not like super wide sounding headphones, but they're also not like narrowed in. So they have a very good sound signature. So all in all, I'm impressed with the look and feel of these. I really like the wood and black, accents to these. Just the way that they look is really kind of cool. And I like the fact that these use sustainable wood ear surrounds. And again, the sound on these is really tops. So this has been my look of the Meze 109 headphones. They are a definite upgrade from the 105 headphones. And if you can't afford these, they are more expensive. It would be worth it to get these over the 105s in my opinion. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.